All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Greg Cohen with JWB, and you've made it to JWB's Rental Property of the Week. Welcome. Thank you for being here. If you are looking to invest in rental properties in the Jacksonville, Florida real estate market, you have definitely made it to the right place. Today, I'm going to reveal JWB's Property of the Week. I'm going to break it down. So this might be one that you may want to add to your portfolio. And if this is a learning lesson for you, if this is something that you are doing your due diligence on, you're learning more about this model, this is also going to be a great experience because, like I said, I'm going to break it down and you got to go through a few trial runs. You have to go through the process a few times to be able to build confidence. And that's the purpose of what we're doing here. Thank you all for being here. If you'd like to actually join us when I reveal the property of the week for the very first time, it's actually on our show, which is called the Not Your Average Investor Show. We do that every Thursday at 12:30 Eastern. That's when I reveal it, and we actually have 50, 100 guests with us and in the audience. They're asking questions. It's a great learning environment. So would certainly encourage you to be a part of that. Every Thursday at 12:30, you'll be the first ones to know. And you can register by going to jwbshow.com, jwbshow.com. And thank you to everybody who's joining us live on the Facebook group. I'm checking my phone right now. I'll try to monitor what we've got going on here. If you'd like to throw in any questions or comments while I'm live here, I'm happy to answer those. And if I don't get to them live, I will jump right in afterwards and answer those questions and comments for you guys. Well, today we have an incredible property here. This is one that cash flows over $200 a month, and it's located less than 6 miles from one of the major job creators in our JWB neighborhoods here in Jacksonville. This is in the South Side neighborhood, and it's located next to over 150 upscale restaurants and shops here. It's called the St. John's Town Center. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about the job creators. We haven't talked about the South Side in a little while here. So that's what we're featuring here today. And without further ado, I'm going to jump right into the screen share and take us away here. So we are looking at the property at 2520 Ebersol Road, Jacksonville, Florida, 32216. And this is an incredible property here in the South Side, as I mentioned. When you are going through this process of investing in rental properties, the very first thing I want you to pay attention to is the return on investment. So that's what I'm going to zoom in here for. What you see here are different summaries of different ways to purchase properties. You can purchase it with cash. You can purchase it with non-recourse financing, a loan in place that is a non-recourse loan. And that's typically for your retirement account purchases. But the most common way to purchase properties, especially today as interest rates are so low, is using conventional financing, just a normal vanilla loan that you can get today pretty easily, assuming that you can qualify. And when you do, you get incredibly advantageous terms. That's what a lot of the clients are doing. And so when you're doing that, you're going to be able to earn an estimated 8.45% return on investment, going to cash flow over $200 a month. And I'll first just break down what that means. Cash flows, monthly cash flows of $215 a month means that on a normal month, when your rent is coming in, when you have your normal expenses that happen every single month and affect your bank account, you're going to wind up with an asset that's paying for itself here and paying you about $215 a month on top of that. Now that's wonderful. The 8.45%, the return on investment, takes a little bit more of a holistic picture. So we're looking not just at the cash flows coming in, we're also looking at tax savings, and we're looking at principal pay down, which are two additional profit centers. It also takes into account additional expenses that you will see at some point. They don't happen every single month, but at some point you'll see these expenses. And those expenses would be maintenance costs, vacancy costs. It would be tenant placement fees. When we rent your home for you, there's a fee associated with that. So that's taken into account. It's also taking into account your closing costs. All these things must be taken into account. And when you do that, you wind up with over an 8% return on investment, which is what we're shooting for here in the Jacksonville market. The one thing that it does not include is home price appreciation. Now, it's interesting because, and I'll stop the screen share here, the common question I get on the show on Thursdays is, Greg, you're in Jacksonville. It's known to be a growth market. It's known to appreciate more there than in other markets. Why don't you include home price appreciation? And the answer really goes back to a couple of different things. Um, Number one, one of our core values is to under promise and over deliver. So I hesitate to put the absolute best case possible scenario out there on any property evaluation because I want to make sure that um, we have room to hit your returns and hopefully to beat your returns. It's a little bit of a different methodology we have than others in our space, but the reality is that if you can produce a return, not even counting on home price appreciation, over 8%, and rental properties are known to be a consistent asset class, well, that's pretty incredible. That stands on its own 2 feet. You don't even have to bank on appreciation for this to be uh, a better risk-adjusted return on investment compared to your investing alternatives. But when you do look at home price appreciation, people have gone and really in both ends of the spectrum, and neither has really been correct. Just jumping in here, if anybody is watching live here, I was seeing some glitches happen on the group on my phone. So if you could just chime in, let me know everything's going well. I appreciate that. Um, but home price appreciation. So, I started to invest in 2006 before the Great Recession. And really from 2006 and before, everybody, when you talked about home price appreciation, it was just a no-brainer. Properties went up in value every single year. Like there was no thought that it just couldn't happen or didn't happen, that you banked on home price appreciation every single year. Well, that's not the right way to evaluate home price appreciation. So what happened is the Great Recession happened, taught a lot of lessons to a lot of us, and me included. And then people started to go to the other end of the spectrum, and they started to say, "I'm never going to count on home price appreciation. I'm never going to." And what we learn is that that's not the right approach either. The right approach is in the middle there, because if you actually look at how home price appreciation works, it's cyclical, which means that it repeats itself if you give it a long enough cycle, right? A real estate cycle is known to be between 10 to 20 years. If you go back and you look at 10, 15, 20-year segments, and you look at the home price appreciation rate in your market, in Jacksonville, all over the country here, and you compare it to what the historical average is for home price appreciation, you'll find that it's very similar. So you can use this knowledge to make the best decision for you as far as which market you're going to invest in. And not all cash flow markets are created equal. In fact, Jacksonville's home price appreciation rate almost doubles some of the comparable cash flow markets out there. To put it in context, Jacksonville's home price appreciation rate since 1991 on average each year is 4.3%. You go to Cleveland, it's 2.3%. And when you stack that up year over year, if you're investing for a full market cycle, 10 to 20 years, that difference right there, that 2.3% to 4.3% average appreciation rate per year, stacks up to hundreds of thousands of dollars of additional return on investment for choosing a growth market like Jacksonville. But here's the thing, you have to be investing for a full market cycle. You have to be into this for a 10 to 20-year cycle like I am, or longer. And when you do that, then you can count on home price appreciation. And that's why I hesitate to put it on the evaluation, because I don't know if you're going to listen to me. I hope you do. I hope you see the value of holding on to real estate long term. And if you do, then you can go ahead and include home price appreciation in your calculations, which is what I'll do right now. So if we put a 4.3% appreciation rate in there, you can see the return on investment skyrockets. This is what happens when you use smart debt, when you take advantage of other people's money. You buy an asset that pays for itself every single month, which we've seen at the $215 a month in monthly cash flow. You buy it with inexpensive debt, which we're able to get right now. You're able to get an interest rate of maybe 4%. And the asset goes up in value if you hold on long enough. You have to hold on for a full market cycle, which is known to be between 10 to 20 years. If you do that, what happens is, as the value goes up 4% a year and you only put 25% down, your return on investment from appreciation is actually 4 times. It's 16% in that example, because you only put 25% down. You didn't put the whole amount down. That's how the wealthy, the savvy take advantage of rental properties. That's why I believe it's one of the reasons why this asset class for the current market environment produces the best risk-adjusted return on investment. You get consistency, but you also have a really high ceiling here when it comes to potential profits and return on investment. So with that, let's talk a little bit about the neighborhood here. So I'm switching over to the map here where um, we've got our map of Jacksonville here. All of these blue dots here are all of the properties that JWB has bought, renovated, or built and has sold and continues to do the management on for all of our clients. So this is how we know all these stats for the property, right? You know, that's how we know the purchase price on this one. That's how we know the rent rate on this one. That's how we know property taxes and insurance and all those good things. It's because we have all of these data points that are right around the property. And we have four major neighborhoods. This is called the north side up here. This is the west side. This is called Arlington. And we're in the south side here, which is right here. And this is the property on Ebersol that we're talking about right here. Now, I pointed out that we're less than 6 miles from one of the major job creators. And all of the four neighborhoods that we choose are excellent for jobs. That's why we put you there. I just happen to be highlighting the south side right now. I could make similar points about Arlington and the west side, but let's focus on the south side here. One of the major job creators is called the St. John's Town Center. And I did a little bit of research on the St. John's Town Center just to give you some perspective on what an economic driver this is for Jacksonville. But you can see here that you're less than 6 miles driving to this epicenter right here. And you can see some of the stores that are there. You've got the Apple store. You've got, well, we just talked about Topgolf right there. We've got, let's see here. We've got Tesla. We've got Louis Vuitton. There's Louis Vuitton right there. I mean, you can just see all of these shops, restaurants. I mean, there is so much food to eat down here. It's ridiculous. And it's one of these major job creators. So St. John's Town Center draws over 10 million visitors a year. 35% of the visitors drive at least 1.5 hours to get there. So this is a real destination spot, economic driver for Jacksonville for jobs. And then this is an interesting fact. Of all of these restaurants here, the restaurants are doing about $1,000 per square foot in revenue, which places them in the top 3% in the nation. I saw that stat and it blew me away. I didn't realize that. So this is a huge economic driver, incredible for jobs, for shopping, for entertainment, for education, a place where people want to be around. And that's always wonderful. That's one of the reasons why we put you here in the South Side for economic drivers like this. And then I haven't even mentioned one of our major universities here, the University of North Florida, where you have 17,000 students. Most of the students reside off campus. And this university is recognized as one of the top 10 universities worldwide from the Center for World University Rankings. And it's known as a best in the Southeast College by the Princeton Review. So incredible education. Again, great for housing, great for your residents to be living somewhere around here for this home at Ebersol Road. And see, we got a few comments here. Let's see what we've got here. Lee Bishop. Hey, Lee, thanks for joining here. I said, and thank you for telling me that we're looking good as far as all of this. And just said that you're helping me out. Let me know that we can see the map and the spreadsheet. And it's great to hear about the South Side. I appreciate all those comments, Lee. Always great to have you here. The property of the week. So this property, as with many of our properties right now, they just don't last very long. So it's not uncommon that the property of the week is something I prepare, obviously, a few days before we go live in the show. It's not uncommon that, it's not going to be available right now. And guess what? This one isn't available. It was purchased between then and now, which is just really the state of things in the real estate market overall and the JWB. But do not have any fear. We have inventory available, and we have a lot of inventory that is very similar to this home on Ebersol Road. And the reality is, when you talk to my team, you're going to find that we believe that if you find the right team, you find the right market, and you find the model, and you believe in the model, that the properties are really interchangeable. All of our properties are going to have similar pricing profiles, returns, monthly rents, purchase prices, all of those good things. So we have other properties that are very similar to this one. If this is something you're interested in, please reach out to my team. We'd be happy to walk you down the path and hopefully bring you on as a client. You can do that a couple of different ways. You can go to chatwithjwb.com, chatwithjwb.com, set up a time to speak with my team. You can just drop me a comment here, and I'm happy to facilitate a call for you. If you're a current client and you'd like to add this one to your portfolio, just reach out to your JWB portfolio manager. They'd be happy to walk you through this property, set up a time to speak with our team as well, and hopefully get this one added for you. Thank you all. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the day and happy investing. Take care, everybody.